Hi, real estate broker Josh Barker, and thank you for checking out our market update for the month of January 2026. So happy New Year to all of you. Let's go ahead and dive right into the sales report. I'm going to talk about the year over year for just a moment, if you wouldn't mind. The sales report reflects that there was 2,328 properties that closed escrow last year, which is pretty remarkable because if you go back 1 year prior in 2024, we finished that year at 2,333. Now here's where it gets really interesting. If you go back 2 years, the numbers finished off at 2,328, which means that over the last 3 years, our sales year over year have only fluctuated by 5 sales altogether. What this is telling everybody, obviously, is that this is a very stable market right now. In fact, you'd have to go back to about 2017, prior to our car fire, before you'd actually see the sales volumes that were more traditional back then. For example, back then you'd see about 3,200 homes selling each year, an increase of about 25% compared to where it is today. And if you're asking yourself, well, what's the difference? The difference is the interest rates. If you go back to 2017, interest rates were sitting at about the mid 4% range, where today, obviously, they're sitting at about 6.2%. When those rates went up a few years back, it caused sales to drop off quickly by about 15% and then another 10% on top of that. And that's why we've seen the sales volume so much lower. What we expect going into 2026, this year, first half of the year, we project will probably mirror what it did last year for the first half of the year. And then in the second half of the year, we're actually as a company forecasting that we'll see sales volumes increasing as we anticipate that interest rate continuing to go down. What does that mean to the market? It could mean up to a 5% bump in sales in the second part of this year. So a forecast, nothing concrete, but definitely something that we're using for some of our business planning going forward. Next thing to look at is just the overall housing inventory. Right now, we're sitting at about 832 properties that are for sale. If you go back to last year, we finished at 759, so it's an increase of about 10%. If you're a buyer in the market today, you've probably experienced that you're seeing more inventory to choose from. The pressure is definitely off where buyers do not feel that rush to hurry and find a home like they did before. And sellers now are realizing that buyers are a bit more picky, which means that they need to be priced more competitively, staged really well, and have a great marketing presentation to secure a contract on their home. So things that we're looking at. Next piece is just the overall absorption rate. Right now we're sitting in that mid 4-month range supply. What that means is it would take about 4.5 months right now to sell off the existing inventory based on the current sales volumes. 0 to 3 months supply, again, normally what we call a seller's market. You can tell that, you can feel it. Sellers are feeling like they have control over the market. 4 to 5 months supply is normally a neutral market, which is where we're at now. And then anything over a 6-month supply is what we consider to be a buyer's market. And the overall psychology in the market right now is that things are pretty normal, pretty flat. Sellers don't necessarily feel like they have a major advantage. Buyers don't feel they have a major advantage either. That's a typical thing for a neutral market. Next thing to look at is just interest rates. Talked on it a few minutes ago, but roughly 6.2% on a 30-year fixed, trending down. We're going to see some adjustments here next year as there's new leadership coming into place. We expect the rates to come down as a result of that. That's part of that forecasting that I was talking about. Next thing is on the rental market. Rental market right now, after checking it today, 7.5% vacancy rate in the rental market. And what that means really is just that the only units that are really vacant right now are the ones that are being turned over because a tenant's moving out. They're being refreshed a little bit as a tenant's moving in, and that's really what's reflective in the rental market. The short-term rental market, which would be anything under 30 days, again, it's pretty soft. There are some folks looking at the short-term rental market. There's still some optimism there, but it's nothing like it was in years past. Last thing to look at is just the average rent. Average rent right now is averaging for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a 2-car garage, about 1,400 square feet, built in about the mid-1990s, is averaging $2,250 a month. So that gives you an idea anyway of what the rents are overall. Lastly, I just want to say thank you. This year we finished up all of our numbers as a company. I had the privilege of going out and serving about 150 families in the market. What I'm most proud of though is that our team actually went out and served another little over 550 families in the market. altogether, a little over 700 families served, and we're just so grateful for that. Again, it's all because of the great support we have from great past clients and center of influence, like many of you. And again, if you guys need anything going into this year, let us know. We're always here to help. I hope you guys enjoy the start to the year. Have a great day.